No, I'm looking at the bar to get more alcohol here.
Jesus Christ.
Keep talking. That's
I mean,
role
this
playing here,
is
okay?
such a...
I'm
Oh, here we
role-playing.
go. You're role playing. Yeah? Yeah, is that how they do it in VR?
Because that's what. Listen, we're at a bar. Alcohol's under the counter. I'm gonna make my drink behind the counter. You know what I mean?
Hello everyone, so today I am here with Ozin, and we're going to be doing like an interview / story time, so do tell us about yourself.
Tell me about myself.
Yes.
My name's Ozin. I'm 24 years old. I live with my parents, and I like to do stuff.
Lovely. Okay, so, I appreciate you coming out today. I know there's many things that you're very well versed in, so I'm sure you have something specific you'd like to get into.
Well, my philosophy is just, I know what I know. It's all relative. I'm not really good at talking about myself, honestly. So just shoot me a question. I do like answering questions and I like asking questions. So if you shoot me a question to start off with, we can go from there.
Okay, well, since you are essentially the first person that's kind of guided me on like different VR things, tell me, so what was the beginning of your VR journey like? How are things today, for you?
Interesting.
Yes.
That's a good question, actually.
Well, you did say you like questions, so I asked them.
Well, particularly is a good one. So I started playing Vrchat, I guess actually about last, February or something? God, no, I think...
This year, February?
No, last year, February.
Oh, it's only been like a year for you. Huh.
Actually, I think it's been 2 years now, yeah. I first started... It's been about... a little bit about a year and a half to 2 years, actually, yeah. I first started when I really started... I got out of college, just about. So yeah, no, about a year... about a year ago, a little after I got out of college. I graduated college, I guess, last year. That's a detail there. But yeah, no, I started playing about a year ago, and since then I've basically just used it to just hang out with people, enjoy a few drinks here and there, and go on various adventures and kind of help just explore myself a little and have a good time with people. And I've made a lot of friends along the way and learned a lot about myself. Cheers.
Okay, so it sounds like you had a lot of party value and getting to know people. That's really cool. I notice a lot of people tend to get into VR and they learn a lot about themselves as far as exploration goes. So what did that look like for you? What did you learn?
That's a good question. So one thing I actually garnered a lot of was probably sociability by personality. So if there's one thing people our age struggle with, Zoomery types. We are a very honest group, in my opinion. However, we are horrible at interpersonal communication, just talking in person stuff, because our generation wasn't ever really getting a lot of opportunities or tools to do so. We were kind of stuck in between the time before people knew that a lot of screen time was bad and social media was on the rise. And the time where towns and stuff didn't give you a place to drive anywhere, so we were all stuck in houses without cars and along with that, we were all attached to screens, so we're kind of socially stunted a little bit, especially with the COVID thing, like in our early 20s.
Oh yeah,
Early 20s,
100%.
late teens. That screwed us up a ton.
COVID did a number for sure.
So, yeah, and VR chat is kind of interesting in that it really is a very strong social platform. It's also more like a social media game than anything in a weird way. Because you can look or be whatever you want. You know, you can be this, like, when it comes to looks, like, VR chat does not matter a lot, in the sense that, like, anyone can be like a cute fox girl, anyone can be like a big, like, stud hot guy, anyone can be like a fucking, like, platypus, right? And so with that, anyone can be anything, so which means no one is anything physically. It's a lot. So when you talk to someone, personality drives a lot of what you do. So if you're just like shy and quiet in a corner, you're not really going to get any far. A lot of introverts try to play VR chat and are very quiet in corners and don't get very far. It's because you have to talk to people. It's VR chat. And with that, I kind of learned to discover myself more socially around other people. Like, when I speak to someone, what am I actually conveying? What am I actually thinking? You know, what is the language I'm using, and is it really what I want to say to them? You know, it really helps out with the anonymity, because the anonymity on the internet provides a very honest view of people, because there's no fear of self-repercussion. That's a double-edged sword for a lot of reasons, but in some cases it can be very good. And in VR chat, I think it can, again, double-edged sword for some types. Some people are psychopaths. Other people, though, are absolutely awesome, and you can find a lot more confidence out of people that you wouldn't otherwise.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely agree with some of that for sure. I will say, like, so you seem to have a lot of value in, like, the aspect of kind of getting involved with the social parts of the game. And I know, yes, some of us are introverted and it's difficult to kind of engage with people. So for you, I guess the biggest thing you learned was how to engage with people, or was it recognizing you needed to in order to actually become a part of the community?
I think it was recognizing that I needed to be part of the community, but it is something I did not do alone. It is something I did. This is the other thing about VR chat. It's super hard to get into it alone. It's super hard, downright impossible.
You're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need someone to, like, hold your hand the first time through, like, your guide. Because the first time you're out there, you don't know what the hell you're doing. I liken VR chat a lot to a bar, like this one we're going to right now. For those of you, the very rare few watching this who have actually gone out to bars, like, very often, right? Because that doesn't really happen a lot anymore, especially, again, with our generation. But if you go out to a bar, the energy is people just having a drink, having a few chats, hanging out. No one really knows anybody, but you all know you're there to relax and chill after a long day at work or something, and just strike a conversation with people, which is often a foreign concept. And VR chat's kind of the same way, you know, especially since on VR chat, a lot of people are very intoxicated. They're drinking, they're smoking weed, they're doing all sorts of stuff. And for someone who's not accustomed to that, it's very funny to bring it in, because they're like, "Whoa, drugs!" But to anyone else, you know, it's like, you know, it's just vibes, you know. Smoke a little, drink a little, chat up with somebody, talk about your hobbies. There's a lot of nerds, a lot of computer nerds on this game, you know. A lot of queer people if you're part of the queers, you know.
What an interesting way to put that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of vices that people do to kind of, like, break the social barrier. And I mean, going to an actual bar, you know, I feel like at least nowadays the goal is a little different. It's more about, like, trying to find someone to date. But granted, I won't say VR chat's hyper different either. There's a bunch of, like, dating apps in this game that are actively advertised. Yeah. So, you know, it's not too different, but no, I get what you mean, definitely. So, and for you, would you say that, like, the VR space has helped you do that more in real life?
Absolutely, I'd say. Yeah, no. Just being able to use my mic more and be physically emotive in this way is awesome. You know? And to be fair, like, I like to go to bars IRL myself, before this and stuff, but, like, you have to drive somewhere, you have to usually go with somebody, because I don't like going to bars alone, you know, that's not my thing. But, like, going to bars with my buddies, I have to get someone has to pick someone up, someone has to be a designated driver. Vrchat's way easier. You're not paying a bar tab, you're not paying the upcharge on shots. You're pouring alcohol in your cup here, and then pour it in the mixer, and then you hop online with your buddies, and you mix a little thing, and you're good to go, and let's start chatting with people, you know? So with that said, it's not even necessarily that it, like, helped me be able to, it's just in the sense that, like, I'm not able to socialize with people. That's one of my strong suits. I'm actually very good at socializing with people, at least in my opinion. It's that it allowed me to do it more often or more easily, because I am an introvert. I do not like people, as contrary to what I just said is. But Vrchat kind of lets me do it at my own pace, do it very easily, and when I am done for the night, when I'm tired of people, you know what I do? Throw these on the floor, take all this off, throw off my headset, and go play Path of Exile or something.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I can understand that, especially having a social battery. I learned a lot about myself this year also. Just kind of understanding that I thought I didn't really have social battery issues because I didn't do too much talking. And once I, went to like an anime convention recently, I was absolutely drained, like to the point where it would be painful for me to try to talk because the battery just wasn't there. And
was it difficult?
It can be. And there are moments where it's kind of like, okay, yes, I'm here with friends, but I need to kind of like stay within my own bubble right now, And it's fine for some, to come and enter the bubble and like figure out what I'm doing, but there were moments like that where I kind of just needed the break. And I kept hearing from people like, going to conventions alone, going to the bar alone, going here alone is like such a magical experience because you meet people in a different way than you would if you went as a group. But I'm not 100% sure if I subscribe to that. Like, going to a convention alone sounds kind of crazy,
I think that, okay, well, let's clarify something real quick. When people say conventions, in our space at least, they're referring to anime conventions specifically, which is very different from most conventions. If you talk about conventions in general, it's like computer conventions, comic conventions, video game conventions, which are all spotlights for businesses to advertise themselves, basically. Like PAX East and all of them, although they're all dead now. We're all spaces for games and companies to advertise themselves. Anime conventions are different in that and from the very start, they were about organizing this niche hobby everyone saw really cringe, like starting back in about, the mid-90s to early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And back then, anime convention culture was very powerful and stark and really cringy and very autistic. But it was also a place where a bunch of nerds could just go out and enjoy and hang out, and you could make friends. It was very easy to socialize with people. And to be fair, you can still do that at anime conventions. Like, I'll get a little crunked and just start hanging out with people and start chatting them up, and you'd be surprised what you can find. Oh, maybe you might even get laid, but ultimately, anime conventions are kind of different. Anime conventions are kind of different now, where like they've gone more popular, more commercialized, and with that, they've kind of gone more towards what traditional conventions like E3 and stuff were, where they've become more places to advertise. Or I guess for anime, they kind of expand in scope. Like there's arcade areas, there's usually fighting game tournaments, cosplay competitions are a lot bigger. So it's a lot more about the raves, the con raves. They're a lot more. It's more about going to see the events, like a carnival, basically, in my opinion. And of course, buying a bunch of weeb stuff, because God, I love buying weeb stuff. I actually just put some weeb stuff up right there. I got on my wall.
No, I get you. Yeah,
but whatever.
No, I understand. It can definitely be that way. I know that like one of my favorite things at a convention, and there's actually a convention this year. Otakon was the first anime convention I ever went to, and I absolutely was bored about almost everything, and I didn't understand the convention space at the time. But once I saw something that did pique my interest, which was a contest for anime movies, and I had already watched anime movies, but the contest was like the quality level of what I could have expected from an anime movie just rose to the point of like, oh my gosh, I love these. I'm gonna watch all the contest winners every year on YouTube. Because at first, you looked up an anime movie, it was like Naruto, there's like some rock and roll song in the background. It's like a random scene. That's what like anime movies were. Summer in Okinawa, the movie. Anime movie like YouTube videos were just they were trying to be the cool music videos and they just weren't. Whereas going to the convention, I saw like a level of production that was, pretty much professional, but these are people that are doing passion work, right? So it was really cool to see that. And then it gave me a little bit more of an appreciation for other contests. There's actually this panel that I also really love, that they're a little bit more on the mature side, but they're called manly battleships. And they would show up to random anime conventions throughout the year. And it's just them deciding to pick on one anime and just rip it to shreds. Like, even if it's good. Like, they just sit there and rip it to shreds. And everybody has a good time, like, laughing about it. You can stand up and, like, say, I disagree with you. And they're like, yep, whatever. Nope, let me tell you why it's trash. It's really funny. So I had a good time at that one.
That sounds pretty fun, honestly. I like that a lot.
Yeah, at the time.
I wanted to pick like a really genuine, high-end one, like Made in Abyss or something, like Monster or something. Like, no, Monster is garbage. It does not have a brain inside of it.
Yeah, at the time, the anime that they picked to dunk on was this is before season 3 and forward of Attack on Titan. So season 1 and 2. Attack on Titan, yeah, season 1 and 2 of Attack on Titan were like really good quality at the time, and they absolutely ripped it to shreds anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen season 1 and 2. That's funny as hell. I remember that came out in middle school. People were running around with the backpacks and stuff. I was like, cringe. This is gonna be long right now.
It's funny that you say that. It reminds me of an experience I had back in school. For me, I had encountered Death Note pretty early, and I had watched a lot of Death Note, and I think I had one guy who was kind of religious, and he was he thought I was like a school shooter, basically. He's like, you watch Death Note? Like, that's weird. And then I got him into anime, and I got him to watch it, because he was only like a Naruto person for the longest time in his life. If it wasn't Naruto, it was absolute trash. That's how he felt.
This is the most like normie conversation I've ever heard.
It was pretty
normie on normie violence.
It was really rough. And then they watched Death Note and they started apologizing to me after that, because they're like, "Oh, I thought you were just like a psychopath, but actually the show is actually really good."
That's adorable.
And there was some other obscure anime that I got him into, like Magi was one of them. It's still, not to say this, it's a good anime, but it is still shonen slop at the end of the day. But it was good. Yeah. And he enjoyed it, and I went to go like read it. So it was fun, It's nice to have changed someone's opinion for once, where most of the time it is just random anime fan who only loves Demon Slayer and nothing else, and you can't convince them otherwise.
Yeah. And it's so weird. Demon Slayer fans are like ones that are like tragic, because Demon Slayer is absolutely gorgeous. Like you can't say it's just visually it's an absolute masterpiece. It's just the story's brain dead. And you look at people like give such good critical detail of how it's drawn, and it's like, okay, they have artistic appreciation. But then you recommend anything else, and they're like, oh no, they think the story's amazing in Demon Slayer. It's like,
Well, I will say this. I'm a person that I'm also a quality junkie, so like things that are just high production and present themselves really well, I will give a chance just because. And the way I've heard it, I'll say this quote because I've heard it. I don't remember where it was from, but it was really obvious, and I agree with the opinion, right? So like, Demon Slayer is a mediocre story with an excellent anime adaptation. And I say mediocre story in the sense that once you've seen something like Demon Slayer, you've seen them all. You've seen them all. Like, all the Demon Slayer plots. Shonen.
Yeah.
They go out there, they slay a monster, and then like you've seen all of them, right? It's very rare when you run into ones with a little bit more nuance, like Jrwtih Kaisen. But
I like Jujutsu.
yeah, the explanation I got for that is, and then you have something like One Piece, where One Piece is an excellent story with a awful anime adaptation. So it's kind of like,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You have
especially
both
if you count
situations.
your earlier seasons, especially if you count like the first seasons of One Piece and not even the new ones. Like,
yeah, it was older,
does
but
not
it's
age
just
well.
it's interesting that.
Oh man,
No, you're right. The anime adaptation really can break or sell something, and it shows a lot. But I actually, and you're gonna like this. I ended up watching Oshinoko. Per you mentioning that it would be a good idea. I was deathly sick at the time. I had nothing to do but lay in bed and cry, so I was watching it.
What'd you think of it? Did you lay in bed and cry?
I didn't cry because of that, but we can make another follow-up time or like a video to talk about my like deeper thoughts on it. But I wanted to mention it here because there's one scene in Oshinoko where it's the manga artist that's telling the live play like studio that they're not happy with the scriptwriter and they want to have them change everything. But I like that the episode kind of gave focus to like, the other mangaka, she got her like live action adaptation and it was awful, and she like it haunted her, but she's still trying to tell the little one not to be that way.
I want to give Oshinoko a second watch because I kind of watched it here and there sparingly, but I want to give it like a full-on like start to finish over. It would be a good 1 to 3 days watch. Absolutely, I want to give it another. The first, it took me 2 times. I watched the first time, saw the weird like intro, and I was like, I'm not. This is worth it. And so it's like it's worth it. Where to keep watching. I'm like, okay, because I love Made Abyss, and that has children literally being kicked across the floor.
Yeah, I haven't watched that
one. Ooh, my shirt's from Main Abyss. Yo.
I'll have to check it out. But there's also the conclusion to that bit that I really liked is the mangaka kind of realizing that the scriptwriter, his goal is to take her work and put it in a different medium in a way that is actually feasible for an adaptation of that kind. So I just like that the show brought attention to detail there. They do a lot of things really well, like the idol culture in general. But yeah, I'll say it's definitely a good watch. It definitely wasn't what I expected. I don't think I'd ever seen an anime start off with the premise that it did. The first 5 minutes was quite wild. It's different.
I will give it this, and this really harkens to my hipster like genes and energy. It is very, very different from most anime, which I appreciate the fuck out of. I appreciate very original plots. And I'll be damned if it's not imaginative,
Yeah, and this is what I have to wonder, because we have run into this before in history. So you had Madoka Magica, which at the time, most magical girl anime were very focused on being cute and pretty, right? Madoka Magica kind of did a deconstruction where it started playing with elements of other genres and kind of breaking down its genre on its own. I feel like Oshinoko is close to doing the same thing, but not quite. And I have to wonder...
it's more of a critical. I mean, at its core, it's a criticism of like idol culture and media culture in Japan,
Right,
which is
right.
more of its core. Madoka is purely its pure goal is pure subversion of magical girls. Oshinoko is a critical look, which means it's going to be similar to other things, but it's just going to bring out very real plot points. But it will, and that will include subversion, but not to the level of Madoka Magica. I'm not sure I would. Like, if there's a Venn diagram, like, it's like the circles have a lot of overlap. Like, the circles are, like, there's some circles that are close, there's some circles that are far. The Venn diagram from Madoka and, like, Noko is, like, middle. Like, there's a lot between the two, but there's a lot of similarity, and mainly in that subversion space.
Yeah, because I have to wonder if it'll have the same effect, because one of the downsides to Madoka being the deconstruction that it was, is we had Magic Girl anime popping up everywhere with the same premise afterward. So do you think idol anime will start taking the path of Oshinoko, where they start talking about more of the darker things? Because most idol anime is so popular already without doing that.
I don't think Oshinoko is like placing a banner against a tidal wave. I think it's just going the way that it was already going. Like, you had, what was that one anime with the idol anime with the zombie girls?
I don't remember the name, but I think so.
Yeah, no, I mean, that one is an example of another one that was a subversion of idol anime, because idol, or at least closer. Idol anime before that was just, Love Live. Right?
Yeah, but Love Live was massive.
Great.
Absolutely
Yeah,
massive.
Love Live was special, and it was huge. It still is huge. Love Live fans are terrifying. But that said, no one else outside of idol fans enjoyed idol anime, really. And then you had the Zombieland Saga? Is that what it is?
I think
Something
so.
Saga? God, I won't Google it because we're doing this right now, but...
It's okay, you're fine.
Yeah, but like, whatever Saga, like, that was... Like, it was a comedy anime in general. And it's very rare to find a genuinely funny anime, and that's one of them. That actually genuinely made me, not just go like, right? But actually made me laugh out loud. There's very few anime that do.
Oh, no, I understand. I mean,
like,
there are
when
some
she comes
that
out the first episode and gets ran by the truck. I was just like, okay, yeah, this is awesome. My favorite one is like the meme where he just like takes out the can. But that anime like blew up. Like, everybody loved it, and it still had very idol anime parts with the dancing, the models, whatever. But it brought a lot more people into the fray, and it was because it was subversive. The idols weren't perfect; they were brainless zombies and imperfect creatures. But they also had good music, like a proper idol anime. So I think Oshinoko, like, that was the first anime to kind of like play a joke on idol culture. I think Oshinoko is the step further, where it is being actively critical of idol culture and Japanese media in general. So I think we're just gonna. I don't think it's the first or anything. I think it's just gonna continue to be.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know they have more seasons on the way anyway, but. Yeah, no, it definitely opened my eyes to why this was such a big one. Most of the time, I'm very good at dodging spoilers, so I genuinely had no idea what it was like doing. And I saw it was like idol culture, and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. Not because I don't like it, it's more so for me, at least when it came to idols, I was really big into Vocaloid back in the day. And I kind of fell out of it for a little bit, and then VTubers got more popular, and that kind of had me return to it a little bit, but they're different things, and there's a lot going on there.
Keep talking.
I just see you go reach for your drink. Or I assume that's what it is. Oh, yeah?
It's not a drink, I swear, actually.
I don't know, it's in your hand.
It's actually a battery because my left foot is apparently dying.
Oh, okay. Are you using full body?
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, I'm using full body. What, you think I'm a poor scrub?
Wow, did you just say that about... You're awful.
I'm very respectful. What are you talking about? I'm as respectful as it gets.
Okay, listen, if you're gonna start pulling, like, the Pokemon joke, like, come on.
Pokemon joke is crazy.
Yeah, you're broke. Yeah, like, that's wild. Actually unhinged behavior. But no, that's fair. That's fair. You do your thing, right?
I'm basically Pokemon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to be a Pokemon trainer as well?
Listen, I am Pokemon. I'm a Pokemon.
Sure. So I noticed that you have like very unique horns, but it reminds me of a certain game there.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14.
What? The critically acclaimed? I'm kidding. But
the critically acclaimed MMO.
You don't have to.
No idea about.
Jesus Christ.
Almost like we play it together or something. Crazy chat.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
but it's nice. So I had somebody recently ask me about what it's like getting the VR models from like we're replicating 14. So the one you have, is this like something that was ripped and then somebody like adjusted, or
no?
Is it all like completely
custom?
This is all completely from scratch.
Handmade. Wow. Yep, in Blender and everything. Yeah, no, this is a completely custom one. It was done by a friend of mine. And I was like, hey, I want you to do a mix of my XIV character, Ozen from Made in Abyss, and the detective character from
Detective Conan.
No, Call of the Night. Call of the Night, detective from Call of the Night. I love her.
Okay.
I got her name like right here.
Oh, well, you don't actually have to immediately find it, you know, but... No, that's fair, that's fair. It looks really well done.
Yeah, no, it's very custom. I was like, hey, you know.
So if someone were to ask, like, where they can get something similar, like, is the creator open for everyone, or, like, how does that go?
That's a good question. They're very busy doing, like, other stuff right now in their life. They've made a big life change recently, and they're kind of focusing on that right now, I think.
Right.
But like, if they want a model, I'm happy to like give them the link or whatever. I'll ask my buddy first. But yeah, no, they're usually it's usually cash work for them.
Okay.
But they do a good job. They're very communicative. They are a professional artist. They've been for a very, very long time. So they'll work with you, ask you what you like, ask you what you want, communicate with you. It has Go-Go Loco. It's got full body capability. You know, it's got hair. I've got a bunch of outfits or whatever. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, definitely, like, you know, give me the links and stuff if they're interested in having a little bit of advertisement at the bottom of the video. Makes sense. Yeah, as far as big life changes goes, I just did an interview today myself. But it was a lot more of the professional type, you know. One thing that I do enjoy about interviews, though, is every hiring manager nowadays is trying to, like, subvert expectation from traditional interview. You know, you come in, you shake the hand, and you talk to the person about why you're there. Everybody now is like, oh, I want this to be less formal, more discussion-based. Let's talk, you know? Even though it's not really that different, but that's what they all say.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you get really fun questions. And I've learned to ask fun questions myself. Where today I asked them about their CEO and how they felt about their CEO. I was I was expecting a very politically correct like answer from both of them, but no, like me asking about the CEO, both of their faces lit up in a way that I'm like, oh, they actually believe in this guy, you know, like. It's kind of cool to see that.
That's awesome to hear. That's a green flag.
Yeah, because it makes you like actually think, oh, like I might actually want to work here. You know.
I feel that. I've had the same kind of thing happen. Absolutely. When the people hiring you clearly have like a sense of purpose or like belief in what they do, like that's a great sign. Like when the people above you clearly have enthusiasm about something more than just like their salary, that's a great sign. 100%.
Yeah, because one thing I will say that I wanted to ask them, and I ended up asking them this anyway. Most people when they're interviewing you, they tell you about like how they got to where they were, like their life currently and like who they were. But one of the biggest advices that like I can offer anyone who's listening, and you too, right, is just ask about someone's future. Me asking about their future and like how the company may enable them to achieve the goals they have for their future, that also had them like react in a very positive way, because now it's like, oh, okay, you're taking a personal interest in me, but also there are so many cool things the company lets you do, you know?
I will tell you, I am a fantastic interviewer, or interviewee, I should say. You're absolutely right, and that kind of goes back to the core advice that a lot of people, especially younger people, looking for their first job that's not like McDonald's, like don't understand, is ask questions about the business, ask questions about the people hiring you, ask them about like everything about it, because it shows. Because here's the thing, all people like I do not like the attitude. This is like the boomer side of me. I do not like the attitude online of people just like, oh, like who like joke like, oh, why are you in this job interview? Because I need to pay rent. Like when you're getting a job that's not McDonald's, like it's one you've worked a lot towards. It's one you've like put your time into. Even if you hate your job, if you're having a job that's actually beyond just like instant hiring, it means there's something there you really care about, or you're really good at, or there's just something there that gets your attention, even if you don't like it, right?
Right, absolutely.
And it's really important to gauge how that's reflected by them. And asking questions about the craft, about the business, about the company, shows them that you do have that care and that you do have that passion. And if you're saying like, oh, I really don't care, I don't have that passion, then dude, why are you there in the first place? Like,
yeah, no, it's definitely true. I will say one of the things I'm most thankful for is like getting to know a bunch of different recruiters and like learning, kind of like, you know, getting the coaching to eventually be one myself. Because once you kind of learn what you're looking for as the recruiter, you become like really good at the interviewing part, which is ironic, because sometimes it's like, yeah, you might be good at like tasting food to know if it's good and quality made, but you're not good at cooking, right? But like in a weird way, being the interviewed and the interviewee both kind of help each other, and you learn a lot. So I thought that was cool.
I think you would be a phenomenal corporate recruiter, Ranma. I think you're fantastic at that, actually, unironically.
I'm very good at, like, I've gotten very good at coaching people, and I might make, like, a how to interview or, like, resume video at some point, because all of the feedback I've gotten from my resume was, it was literally perfect. And then I helped someone else make a resume, and they were, like, really young, right? They were going to, like, a college job fair.
Yeah,
and
I've done that,
their resume got nothing but high marks. Nobody had a bad mark on it. And the whole point of that event is like people just mark you down if you have something dumb on your resume. And they're like, oh no, we're good.
No, resumes are one of those things that's like violently. I mean, okay, well, the other thing is that resumes depend on the industry you're in. Like
true.
Your resume in IT should just be like
to the
name, degree, and then knowledge, job experience, knowledge, personal projects, end of story. Like, tell me what tech you know.
It's funny.
Tell me what jobs you've had. More and more. I do not care about a mission statement or anything. Tell me what you know, and do you enjoy it?
Yeah, this person I helped was actually doing an IT resume. So even though I was helping them, there were some nuanced moments where I would have to ask them like, hey, this is what I would have done on a normal resume. Do you think this is important? And they're like, no, IT doesn't care about that. I'm like, well, then take it up, you know? But
yeah. There's very specific things. It's very strong technical skills, but they do not care if you know Microsoft's Word. That's expected. You're an IT buddy. They expect you know how to use a keyboard. If we're talking about like social skills, like I don't care if like you have a lot of friends or anything, but if you can say, hey, I can communicate technical ideas with people who are not technical, ooh, that's so hot.
That's good. That's so good.
You will make me so. If you tell me you can explain what an API is to like a business major, you will turn me on. Like, oh my lord. Like, ooh, get me in here, but get in here, buddy.
Fair
enough. Are we demonetized yet? Are we demonetized?
No, not yet. You know, we just started. The demonetization doesn't show up until I actually start succeeding in some way, right? But it's okay.
Until you get blacklisted.
Yeah, I can do stupid things now as long as I don't get shadow banned, you know? Which I know how to get shadow banned. You make one of those thumbnails that shouldn't exist, and then that's how that happens. So, we'll have a fun thumbnail for this, I'm sure.
Wait, can we do that?
Are you trying to make like...
Whoa!
Are you trying to do like the Mr. Beast reactions? Like, oh my gosh. What? No. That's silly. I can't with you. Oh my goodness.
Can we make that the thumbnail?
We'll see about that. I want it to be good. Well, that's the thing. That's the goal of the hour. But no, it's I gotta come with a name for this video also, because we've gone over so many different topics. But you know what? It's fine. I call these universe talks, and where you just start somewhere. And your brain just goes, and you go through like this massive collection of information with somebody. And people think some people I do talk to, they get very upset with me because they're like, you never stay on topic. And I'm like, staying on topic to me is a sign that we really didn't want to talk in the first place. So I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's this is like two people on the couch just like shooting the shit.
Yeah, like your ideas should be bouncing back and forth.
One shower thought kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I always say universe talks because you go through the entire constellation and stars, and you just, whatever you feel in the moment, you just kind of get into it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's important, especially for like being relaxing or enjoying the vibe of something. Lord knows, VR for me, it has been very challenging to enjoy the vibe because I'm one of those people that sit in the corner, as you say. But I've been a little bit better about it. I started going to different VR parties and stuff, and just like being around so that people start to notice me. But like, I don't have a ton of things to say, but I'm just trying to take in the VR culture, you know? Because a part of the reason why we're here right now, I decided that the best thing for me to do is to just make VR videos where I'm talking to people. Because this is what got me into VR in the first place. Watching all of like Azil's videos, or there was another person that was really popular making storytime videos and things. Where they like interview people.
All those groups.
Those got me
inspired by those groups, yeah.
No, 100%, because I built like a parasocial relationship with VR the game. From watching the community.
Let's get parasocial. Let's get parasocial, chat. Let's get parasocial. Let's go.
So it's like that parasocial attitude pulled me all the way to VR. It pulled me all the way to the headset, to the like tutorials, to everything to now. And now I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm in the community, but I'm still kind of not, because taking the steps to actually do it is still challenging. But, you know, I got here, right? So I'm like, yeah, I think if I just did the same thing, I'd probably feel pretty good about it. And maybe it gets easier. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I sit here and I'm still like,
you're a very heavy conversationalist, so I think it's a perfect niche for you, frankly.
Really? You don't like my tutorial videos?
I didn't know you need tutorial videos.
It's not yet. It's in my head, but I don't think I don't think a lot of people
2009 style like Dark Souls 1 walkthroughs on the PlayStation 2.
Jesus Christ, no. If I'm doing tutorial videos, it's solely going to be for how to use how to add things like Go-Go Loco and Unity. I feel very strongly about it because people, and no offense to anyone who's made like the videos now, right? A lot of them kind of expect you to not be brain dead, and I understand why. But me starting a new program, I am very brain dead about things, and I'm not the type of person to like pay attention too long to videos that actually help. Like learning the Blender Donut Guys tutorial, right? I should be watching that.
Crazy.
I should be watching that, but instead I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I'm like, oh, it's too slow for me. But
it is the Blender videos. The Blender donuts are slow. They're very good, but
it's because
slow.
I see like 40 videos follow up, and I'm like, oh man. But then I want to watch the like how to use Unity videos, and somebody in VR chat is like, hey, so you drag this here, and you do this here, and you put it in the hierarchy there, you do that, and then I'm sitting there thinking to myself, the heck is a hierarchy? And I've already messed up. Like, I haven't even gotten to the point of knowing
like,
what that is.
You still have a cube in the middle of your screen, and you're looking under it. You're like, why am I under the cube?
Yeah, like, I'm getting lost.
What are these arrows?
Things are breaking. Everything is shattered. Like, it took me weeks to get to the point where my brain clicked, and it was like, oh, the hierarchy is the, like... yeah.
The structure, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
That the reason, because I've watched a lot of tutorials in my life. Like, I've done the Blender Donut tutorial when I was messing with Blender.
Oh yeah, right.
But I get to make this a little part of the interview. I am a self-taught coder. I do not have a computer science degree, so I've done a lot of tutorials on how to write code and how to write logic structures and data structures and all that stuff. And it's one of those things where when it comes to a video tutorial, and this goes for anything, not even just computer stuff like Blender or coding, you can have some people make a video, and if you look at, like, if someone were to make, say, an XIV video, we both play a lot of XIV, right? And someone said, this is uptime, this is off global cooldowns, this is this fight, you have to use this button. Like, we can understand a lot of the technical aspects and be like, this is a lot of really good information. This person communicates very good niche information. Right. This is a fantastic thing to watch. But that's because we come from a very experienced background. I think with videos like the donut tutorial and a lot of code tutorials as well, because a lot of, like, coding tutorials, for those of you who don't know, it's the joke is like, it's kind of like draw the fucking rest of the fucking owl, where coding is just like, oh yeah, you do this, and then you type this, and then hit your HTML point here, and then hit your body, and then okay, we're just gonna make a quick git call real quick, and they don't even know what the fuck JavaScript is. Right. It's just like, for us, that it is technical information, it is good information, but for someone just learning Blender, or just learning coding, or just playing XIV, they're like, what button did he press?
yeah, then they 100% click the wrong
what's
one.
Going on the keyboard, they have no, like, for them, they're not in the professional or the addicted phase. They're still in the hobby phase, the trying it out phase. So when you're explaining like a bunch of like hierarchy or off global cooldown or a pointer, like a pointer is very basic depending on where you're at. But like if you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a post request, well, like depending on your level, you're not gonna know what the hell any of those are.
No, it's so true.
You have to start with
true.
Very basic language. You can explain complex concepts, but you can't use definitional language.
Yeah, and sometimes, someone sent me a video about an RTS yesterday, and how it was a rant about how RTS tutorials are bad for very similar reasons, right? And it's funny because it's kind of like what we're saying. You have the early players, they need to have basic language explained to them so that they understand the concepts. And then RTS tutorials are mostly made for mid-level to pro players, where like you have enough that you understand what somebody's telling you, and the tutorials do help you get better, but it helps that level get better. The beginner level has no idea what you're talking about, because the guy, the part of the video that I really liked, the guy was like, okay, so you do this, you build that, you do that, you do that, okay, and then you do that same thing every 21 seconds. And it was like, wait, what? And then the other tutorial that the friend I was watching the video with, they really liked the way this guy started his tutorial. He said, okay, the game starts. He's like, so we build 2 houses, drops 2 houses on the map, and that's it. That was just the beginning.
He doesn't tell you what the houses are, what they do.
He doesn't tell you where to find it. He doesn't tell you where in the UI to look. He just says build 2 houses, boom, boom. And I'm like, yeah.
It's like those ads you see on YouTube Shorts where it's just like, okay, now I'm gonna do this in Clash of Kingdoms. And
it's absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, no, it's so rough.
All right.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I you can, and honestly, that's a skill. That's a communication skill you can take not just in the professional world but anywhere in life. I can tell you, I've seen it here, and I've seen it here in VR chat. Mm-hmm. When most people pull, because like when you hear someone saying, "Oh, I didn't like VR chat that much," you say, "Oh, what happened?" Well, I went with my friend, and then they like ran across this world, and we played this game, and I didn't know what to do, and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. It's like someone takes them into a VR world with a bunch of people, or a really complex activity, and with a bunch of people, and it's like the dude still doesn't know how to fucking use Go Loco, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
And it's like, whoa, you need to slow down, buddy.
It was really hard for me.
I brought you into VR, and the reason is because when you take someone into VR the first time, like, you, like, okay, let me phrase that, sorry. My mouth is going fast in my brain. When I bring someone to VR, I make it one-on-one, maybe 2 people max. If it's 2 other people, the other person, like, I have to know them well. They have to know the person who's new well. And they have to know VR or don't. That's fine. But ultimately, I bring them in and say, hey, let's go look at some cool stuff. So I take him to a dinosaur museum. I take him to a really chill, cozy little cabin or something. I take him to an art world. I take him to the place, probably my favorite world, period. One where you can go like spray paint on walls and stuff.
Oh yeah? Okay, that's
because
cool.
It's a very slow, very passive activity, and it kind of just gets them a feel for the world, touching things, talking with people, interacting with stuff like this, you know? And then after that, they go, that was really fun. It's like, cool. Awesome. They know how to interact with the world. They know the controls, and they're oriented. Because a lot of the time when people don't play VR, it's like the only VR game they've ever played. So they're getting used to VR, period. So you gotta let them learn how to walk around. You gotta let them explore. Let them like screw around, mess up, like picking up the boxes, try to throw it around. Like, oh, I can't just throw this at you. Whoa, you know.
No, it's true. It's true.
And then after that, you can take them into something like B Club or something like that, and show them like the more flavorful personalities, right?
Right.
And that's where you can start to, you know, take this and then throw other people into the mix.
No, that makes sense.
With something like social lubricant of some sort, but that's
my very, very, very first interaction in VR chat. There was like this person that said, hey, you know, you can come hang out with my friend group. You know, we kind of like hang out and have fun in the game. So I went with them. Essentially, I didn't speak at the time. I was a mute, of course, right? That's how we all start. I didn't speak at the time, and they took me to this world where it was like hoverboards, but it was a desert. And there was like a hub ship, and we would like fly out on the boards. And then after that, they took me to VR Ball for the first time, and I was playing VR Ball. And then from there, it was kind of like they went to go chill at this like, kind of like bathhouse-ish kind of place, but it wasn't like Japanese, right? It was kind of Western. Yeah. And they were just kind of, they ended the night there. And I'm like, it was really interesting. I never went out with them again. I always felt bad that I didn't, because I don't know if they thought I didn't like them or something. But
VR chat moment, yeah.
It was just me trying to like get used to it, right? Because they were also a very varied bunch. You know, they were like, some of them were robots, some of them were furries, some of them were anime. So the diversity aspect of it was kind of wild too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they were a fun crowd. So, you know, maybe I'll see them again sometime.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been playing Vrchat again recently quite a bit more. I'd be down to hang out with you. I usually go with my usual crowd at the tavern. But like, yeah, no, absolutely. One of the main reasons I didn't play, I stopped playing Vrchat as much because my room got so dirty for reasons for a long time. But now my room's like super mega clean. I'll have to show you for some time.
Did you have like the Asmongold room like going on?
Yeah, it was a bit of a depression pit. Like, you know, clothes everywhere, like cardboard boxes from various orders of stuff. But there was a weekend where I was just like, you know what? I want to clean all this up. I want to get it done recently. Yeah. A few months ago, I'd say. Like a month or two ago. And
that makes sense.
It's been the best thing ever. It's like I've worked so hard to put in systems to not just make things clean, but to keep them clean. Like, it's one thing to make your room clean and organized. It's another thing to make sure it's maintained clean and organized. And that's what I've managed to do. And the cleanest and most organized I've ever been in my life. And it makes me indescribably happy. As someone who's violently ADD, like I used to take like 60 milligrams of Adderall. That's not even an exaggeration. Like, y'all, those who know. Like it was rough for a while.
Yeah.
But now, like, I got everything cleaned, I got everything organized, and I know my faults. And now I can like walk around my room. I can like shake my leg up and down. It's like,
Well, they do say that like, yeah, they do say having a clean room. Well, they say your room is a reflection of how you're feeling. And every time I think of that, I always feel bad because it's junky, and then I'm like, let me clean up. But
you still got that bag of Taco Bell from DoorDash right next to you.
No crunch wraps today. No crunch wraps today.
Oh, I want a crunch wrap now.
Maybe. I should. For those of you that don't know, you know, PSA, I don't work for Taco Bell. They're not paying me for this. Vegetarian crunch wrap. Try it.
Crunch wrap.
Goes pretty crazy. Just saying.
Ranma, if you get a vegetarian crunch wrap today, I will match you. I promise.
We can do that.
Beast.
That's fine.
And that'll be my dinner, I guess.
Yeah. I have something I will need to do first, but then we can definitely come back and eat the crunch wrap for sure. I have to order one though.
Yeah, I'm definitely not driving.
Oh yeah, no. The amount of, you know what, I'm gonna say something is gonna expose me, but this is the end of the video anyway, so people aren't gonna know. People aren't gonna get this far, and if you do get this far, if I ever hear you say this on my stream, I'm coming for you. But anyway, so
you know who you are, real one.
I have a friend that they have a gacha budget, and I have always bullied them for the fact that they have a budget for gacha games. Because I am of the mind that like if I want something bad enough in a gacha game, I'm gonna cave into the actual industry plan and buy it in the worst way possible, or I'm gonna play it almost as free to play as I can. So like for Wuthering Waves, right? That is my favorite gacha right now. Everything I've done in Wuthering Waves, I've done free to play except for one character, and the only reason I spent money on that character was because it had such an amazing kit. I felt like I wanted to enable the devs to make things like that again. But outside of that one character, I have not spent a single dime of that game for the purpose of gacha reasons, right? So everything else is basically free for me. I've gotten like most of the cast. I'm only missing 8 characters out of like the 30 that exist. And for them to be like
right now, holy hell!
Yeah, it's gonna take some time for them to get up. You know,
no, like that's a good sign. They're not making like a million different characters in like 3 days.
Oh yeah, sometimes they just have. I
appreciate that.
Some like right now they have a single banner instead of 2 because the character is pretty popular. But they could have made an extra character to run with it, but they're just not doing that. So because of this gacha and how well it is, and I'm like, you could do everything for free. Just play the game. The game is fun enough to play it. Just play the game. And they're like, no, I have a gacha budget. I'm gonna buy this character and then stop playing the game for 40 days. And I'm like, something's wrong with you. And then they called me out for the amount of money that I spend on like Uber. And I was like, you know what? I don't like the call out. But
I get
if you
see the game.
If you don't get groceries at the beginning of your week on payday, and you are kind of subjected to those like Uber Eat prices for most of the week.
Uber subjected. That's
yeah,
crazy work.
Because you can go shopping in the middle of the week, but like honestly, who has time to, right? Like most of us worked in 9 to 5.
Yeah.
When were you like? There's just never gonna be the opportunity for it, and yeah, you end up going on Uber. But I will say I'm very stingy about Uber. Like if it's not a buy one get one free, I'm like not doing it usually. Like that sounds like so, I mean, Ranma, like gotta capitalize on the money. If I'm gonna spend money, I need to be getting double resources. That's how I
would think you're at the point where you can start looking at a used car.
So funny you should say that.
I'm about to say you're getting to that point at this rate. You should start looking at least, right?
No, so right now, if I get the job that I'm applying for, things will be very well.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Oh wait, hold on. let me do the. You keep talking. I'm gonna go behind the bar here.
Oh yeah? Are you gonna give me a wild?
Am I in camera shot?
You are. You're gonna give me a wild bar story?
No, I'm looking at the bar to get more alcohol here.
Jesus Christ.
Keep talking. That's
here, oh, here we go. Your role playing. Yeah? Yeah, is that how they do it in VR?
Because that's what. Listen, we're at a bar. Alcohol is under the counter. I'm gonna make my drink behind the counter. You know what I mean? Like, am I visible?
Yeah, kind of. But you're like peeking down all sus-like to go make your drink. So just make it.
Wait, is this good?
I mean, yeah, but it looked like you were hiding behind the bar to make something at first.
Oh, I didn't know if the camera's too low or not. Okay, I'll just do it like
no,
this.
You're
then.
fine. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, no.
I hope you're not.
This is a great spot, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, anyway. Yeah, depending on how the new job goes, it is a 30K increase from what I have right now. So,
that's awesome.
If I get it,
I'm really proud of you,
I'd be hyped. Well, I don't have it yet. Let's not be proud. let's not be proud yet. Like, we don't know.
I'd be proud of you.
Yeah, but like, be proud when I actually do something. I can tell you something you can be proud of. I can tell you one thing.
Tell me something.
So, most people know that my current manager is an absolute hater. I did something that got so much attention that I got recognized by like market leaders in an email, and he felt the need to send a response saying good job because everyone was on the email.
Was this the thing you mentioned earlier? Well, me and our other friend was playing something.
I think this is a different one. This is a different one. But it was such an impressive feat apparently, and I didn't even know what I was doing was that impressive. I got our workplace got 2 awards. 2 awards for it. And I was like, they're like golden awards that got put on the wall at my job. That's how important what I did was apparently. And
oh my Lord.
Like his boss signed it. Like both awards. So it's funny because I went home on time for once, and my boss didn't tell me about it. And then they told one of our coworkers about it, and they're like, look, we got this award. And then my coworkers, they're not a hater of me, they're a hater of him. So she looked at him and she's like, yeah, not go us, go Ranma. We didn't do anything for that. And then like my boss immediately walks out of like her office. It was quite funny. I'm like, okay. I didn't think too deeply about it, but I do enjoy the idea that like somebody cared enough to tell him he's cooked. But it's stuff like that. You can be proud of that.
will be proud of that. And more, but I will be proud of that specifically.
Yeah. That one's fine, you know. But okay, so I do need to go, but I do appreciate you coming, and
yeah,
we should definitely do. Oh, sorry. What do you mean?
Was this usable content?
Usable content? I think so. I would love to do this.
Good conversations, honestly.
Yeah, I would love to do this again sometime, because I think that one of the biggest things for me is I like to just kind of go, you know, just talk about things and be fun. And I picked you first because I know you're also pretty good at conversation, even though, you know, you have your startup shy moments too. But since you're here, is there anything you'd like to say to them? The chat, as you call them.
Does this
or the
include your
audience.
Twitch chat, or is this just like in general, or?
Well, Twitch chat isn't actually here. I would, no, they're not actually here. This is gonna be for the YouTube videos.
But like, I know, but are they like? I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, they're my audience, right? So I just address them. They exist. They're here.
I will say this. So this is gonna sound very corny, but I do mean this.
Oh, you're gonna hit them with the like and subscribe? That's wild.
No,
I don't even do that yet. I'm
genuine.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say I'm a bad YouTuber. I don't even do that. Go on.
I got you, boo. Be yourself. Have confidence in yourself, and do stuff you enjoy. You know, if in things you enjoy, this is the thing, might not be things you expect. The things you enjoy are things that you find your brain gravitating to. And do not let outside like perceptions or how you want to be perceived affect those things. If you look at something and find yourself thinking about it a lot, but you go, I shouldn't do that, I'm not the type of person to do that, fuck that. What you should do is turn to that and go, you know what? Let me dive off the deep end. Let me go look into that. Even if on paper I shouldn't be into that, or I shouldn't like that, or I shouldn't do this, give it a shot. And you might learn more about yourself than you realized. And like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, God. Oh, crap. I'm bad at this. I forgot the comment part, didn't I? Yeah. Like,
comment, subscribe. Whoa, thumbnail.
Jesus Christ. I can't. Stop. It's so awful. Well, okay. Thank you all for watching, friends. We appreciate you. Obviously, special thank you to the Patreon supporters as well. If you're on the Patreon, the full version of this video will be there for free. The edited version is what you're going to see here on YouTube. But if you want to watch the full version with all the bloopers and the, goofiness in the beginning and after, you can do that there. But okay, thank you. And see you later.